having to decide whether or not to put on the ballot in the town of Hopkinton whether Hopkinton should withdraw from the Chariho Regional School District. It is incompatible, having nothing to do, and it's not directed at a person. It's the fact that someone could, on the town council, put forward a question for a vote to withdraw from the regional school district. There are certain other criteria that have to be made, but a vote is one of those criteria. That makes it incompatible for a person to serve on the Chariho Regional School District, and frankly, not just on the Hopkinton Town Council, but the Richmond Town Council and the Charleston Town Council. Mr. Chairman, it is my recommendation to you as the chair of the Chariho Regional School Committee that the position that Mr. Felkner's seat on the school committee is vacant, that Mr. Felkner should be asked to join the public and enjoy the same rights that the folks in the public have tonight, and that he not be counted in whenever any votes are taken or recorded by the clerk. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. And I will accept your recommendation because you are our solicitor. Mr. Felkner, would you please vacate the floor?
Mr. Chair, can we have discussion on this?
Mr. Felkner, would you please vacate the floor?
I don't think he has the authority to tell me to leave. I don't think you do. I think the town of Hopkinton elected me, and it's their authority, so I will refuse.
We don't normally discuss things unless we have motions on the floor.
Okay, well,
Mr. Felkner, again, I'm asking you as a gentleman, which I hope you are, would you please vacate the table so we can go on with our business?
point of order, and I know I'm from Charleston, and I don't want to get labeled with this point of order thing, but this whole thing seems out of order to me. Mr. Felkner was elected by the people of Hopkinton to fill this seat. He was also elected to fill the seat of the council. If we try to ask him to leave without due process, I think we are disenfranchising the voters of Hopkinton. And, with all due respect to the attorney, but, we're citing sections of the Chariho Act here that deal with withdrawal of a town. We're not talking about that, nor does that relate to Mr. Felkner in any way, shape, or form.
Excuse me, again. Our solicitor has made a ruling. I am accepting his ruling. I'm asking Mr. Felkner to remove himself from this table or what?
Well, point of order, solicitors don't make rulings. He's giving his legal opinion. He's not a judge.
I'm accepting his ruling.
Well, this should be handled by a judge, not a mere attorney.
I will respond to Mr. Chairman, may I? Mr. Abbott, I will respond to that by saying I agree with you that if Mr. Felkner so chooses, he has rights that he can exercise in the court system of Rhode Island. But the fact is that you folks have a meeting to conduct here tonight.
I don't believe you have standing to even make a recommendation. This should be initiated from the town of Hopkinton. Oh. This is ridiculous. Where do you come from? Tucket?
That has nothing to do.
Well,
we pay this gentleman.
I'm not very impressed. I think this should have been initiated by the town of Hopkinton, and for him to insert himself in this, and there's some serious constitutional issues here. If the town of Hopkinton sees a conflict, then they should initiate the legal action, not the school committee. Who asked you to bring this up in the first place? Did it come upon you out of the blue?
And again, I'm here to give advice to the school committee as a whole. And in the course of the evening tonight, the school committee will be called upon to take various votes. The school committee has to know who is entitled to vote tonight.
Did you even have the courtesy to notify Mr. Felkner that this was happening?
I received no notification, George.
I mean, that's pretty unprofessional.
As a matter of fact, I think the Board of Ethics told me they would have time to call me, and they didn't call.
Mr. Felkner.
Yes, sir.
As a courtesy right now, I'm allowing you to sit there. But you still have no right to speak out of turn. You understand that?
I would observe the normal rules that we always have. Yes, sir.
As a member of the audience, very short.
I do not consider myself a member of the audience. I consider myself a member of this committee.
Attorney Hennius, clearly there is multiple perspectives on this committee. I would ask you, what action do you believe that we need to take in order to begin to rectify this issue?
I don't believe that there is an action needed to be taken. The chair has made a ruling. The ruling is that Mr. Felkner is not qualified to sit as a member of the Chariho Regional School Committee. The chairman has asked Mr. Felkner to leave the table. I have indicated to Mr. Felkner that if he wishes to pursue this, there is a forum for doing that. It is called the court system. And if he would like to pursue it there, that's fine. That's his prerogative. But this is not the time or place.
Mr. Crosby.
I agree with the solicitor, and I believe he is our legal representative, and therefore we should listen to that. Past experience rules that on the school board here at Chariho has always been school committee members who ran for town council obviously get up their seat here and took the town council seats and so forth. State law, if you read the state law, and I was on the internet all afternoon, all right, and if you're a legislator, state legislator, you can't be a representative. If you're a state senator, you can't hold 2 elected offices in the state of Rhode Island. Therefore, I'm not going to sit here and try to be a barnyard lawyer when we have a professional lawyer here. But I would ask the chair to consider my following recommendation: that Mr. Felkner be told that he is off this committee officially, okay, and whether we have to take a vote on that, and a vote is required, fine, but until we're told otherwise by the Board of Elections or a court. I don't want to get involved in legal hassles and all that. I think it's his responsibility, when he was sworn in, okay, and the town of Hopkinton accepted him as a town council member, that he abides by state law. And therefore, according to the state law, as given by our attorney, right, we should practice state law. And until told different, that's the way it is. And that's the way I feel, and I think a vote should be taken right now, Mr. Chairman, not you individually, therefore you have to assume total responsibility, but a vote should be taken, and that's it.
I have a question for Attorney Anderson. Under what section of Rhode Island law does Mr. Felkner not have the right to serve on both a school committee and a town council?
The Chariho Act, which was adopted by the, excuse me.
But the Chariho Act is not.
Excuse me. Let the gentleman answer the question, right?
Do I have a chance to respond when he's done that?
Well, if you give him a chance to answer the question, we'll have a nice civil conversation here.
The Chariho Act was adopted by the General Assembly in 1958 and has been subsequently amended, coupled with the Hopkinton Town Charter, coupled with the case law interpreting the doctrine of incompatibility. All 3 of those.
Okay, again, I'm going to ask the question, because we've heard under state law, he doesn't have the right. Nowhere here in this Chariho Act does it say that he doesn't have the right to serve on both. No, if we're talking about a doctrine of incompatibility, is that a federal guideline? Is that state? What
It is both.
That's referenced in state law.
And the federal level is why Barack Obama is resigning from the position
but
of
we're not
U.S.
talking.
Senator.
But we're not talking about Barack Obama. We're talking about Bill Felkner, who's sitting on a school committee and a town council. And